Hello, this is Matthew Chan, and I welcome you to the latest video update of the ELI update series. And I have with me, of course, all of you should know by now, my partner in crime in this, Oscar Michelin. Hello, Oscar.
Hi, how are you, Matt?
Boy, I tell you, it's been a long, long time since you've been on camera.
I tell you, it's true. And, you should have gotten me in the summer. I would have had more of a tan.
Is that what it is? Oh, okay. Well, I wish we could say this was a sort of a leisurely update, but I think you and I agreed that we had to do a video update at this point, given the circumstances that happened this week, and which I think is sort of record-breaking for our website, to be quite honestly. What do you think?
Yeah, look, these types of forums, new topics, controversial issues always generate, more interest. And certainly that happened with our site. The visits, the numbers just, were through the roof. And
it's been crazy.
It provides a lot of content to people on all kinds of different topics. But I think this is more of an opportunity for us just to, kind of clear the air about where we stand on certain issues and why the site is what it is and what we hope that the site provides to folks. I think you've done a tremendous job with it.
Oh, thank you.
And we just want to try to, explain a little bit about some of the finer details of what's happened these last couple of weeks and what our position is.
Good. Well, without wasting any more time, Oscar, let's just jump right on in. Regarding the first attack or accusations of us against us and the ELI website is our use of the word extortion letter, legalized extortion. And we have more than once had to explain ourselves. And I have to tell you, it's getting tiresome. We've done it, we've done it on the home page, we've done it in the forums, and yet we have some lawyers that are still sending us notices over this. Now, it either shows me they're not doing any research or they're thinking they're going to bluff us. So, anyway, you've had to reply to this several times this week. And so, why don't you share with our audience the issue? Let's clear the air about our use of the word extortion and extortion letters and all the phrases that we come up with.
Right. Well, first of all, when you chose the name of the site, we chose it for a reason. You chose it for a reason because it gets a message across. And, the purpose of words, particularly in law, is to describe situations. And trial lawyers always try to paint the picture for a jury or get a message across to the judge by trying to find a word or a phrase that kind of summarizes a very complicated topic in a very short way.
Yes.
And so, extortion letter or legalized extortion is a summary of what our opinion of these forms of settlement demand letters are. It's that simple. It's not a statement of fact. It's a statement of our opinion, how we feel about the way these letters come across to the targets of those letters, the recipients of those letters, the website owners, the users, the web developers. Mm-hmm. And I think it's kind of silly for people to say, hey, you're accusing me of extortion, when right on the homepage we explain why we use the term legalized extortion and that it's descriptive. So I can't imagine that any reasonable person really believes that we're accusing people of holding a gun to somebody's head, strong-arming them, any of the legal definitions of the criminal term extortion, But to take, for example, what we mean by that and say, when someone receives a letter for a digital thumbnail image that, let's say, Getty Images sells for $49, and Getty writes them a letter and demands $1,100 for that image, or else they're going to be sued and they could face X, Y, and Z, and they're going to shut their website down. Well, that person's put in a position of saying, well, do I fight them? Mm-hmm. I don't have $1,000. It's going to cost me more to find a lawyer, to fight them. Maybe I'll settle for $500 or $600. So that Getty extracts from them a payment that we feel is in excess of the value of the claim. by threatening them with a lawsuit and by suing them for more money than a court is likely to award them. So that's where we come and say we feel that that really represents a form of pressure that's being placed upon them, and it's a legalized form of coercion or extortion. So I can't even count the number of places in the website that you have said, I have said, other people have said that we're not accusing anybody of the crime of extortion.
Not in a literal sense anyway.
Exactly right.
Where it's a criminal act.
Right. And, in one of the responses that I sent to one of the attorneys who contacted us this week, I pointed out that the wiki page definition of extortion includes both the legal definition of extortion and also says, however, it's meant to be a metaphor and used colloquially to explain overbearing tactics and trying to obtain something through a lot of pressure and threats of litigation. And that legalized extortion, and that phrase is in the wiki definition of the word extortion, and that's what we mean by it, that it's overbearing. But if we were to call our website overbearing settlement demand letters that extract more money than the claim is worth from people who receive them, that's kind of tough to type that in.
Right.
So we summarize it, right? We send it. We get one message. Another thing that I said to somebody who complained is, we've all seen a restaurant that says the best pizza in New York.
That was a great
It's not the best pizza in New York. They know it's not the best pizza in New York. We know it's not the best pizza in New York.
Yeah.
It's puffery. It's descriptive. It's meant to convey a message. So when a person says that, they got good pizza, they think they have good pizza, they're making a claim. Let's go out there. So we've also backed up in a number of places our description of that we just feel that the right way for these digital image companies to attack this problem is to send a cease and desist letter, especially when it's the end user. If the end user used a third-party web developer, say, okay, fine, now you've learned your mistake, and back off. One of the things that really got me was that one of the folks who wrote us said, hey, how can you call me an extortionist? You're accusing me of a crime, when all I'm trying to do is get these thieves who have stolen my person's digital images to come clean and pay us what they owe us. So I said, how come you can call these people, you can call them thieves and claim they've stolen something and that's a crime, when more than likely they had absolutely no idea that what they were doing infringed on somebody's copyright. So everybody should calm down. Right. Let's grow another layer of skin. Get a little bit of a thicker skin. No one really believes you're extortionist. No one believes you're breaking the law. But people do believe you're asking for too much money for a single image from very minimal infringement, where 90% of the time the end user had absolutely no reason to believe that they were doing anything wrong.
Right.
And when you face that type of a person, I think you need a different type of a tactic and be more understanding. Get them to cease and desist. Now, listen, if they don't cease and desist, slam them. No. Then they have no right to continue to use the image, and I'm with them 100%. And most of the time, you produce content. You're a copyright holder.
Yes, I am.
The vast majority of my intellectual property practice is enforcing people's copyrights and trying to make sure that their property isn't taken, that their brands, their trademarks, their copyrights. So I'm well aware of the value of a copyright and how important it is to a business. But by the same token, I'm also well aware of the value of these claims and what the best way is to secure a quick and fair resolution for everybody. So.
Yeah. Well, Oscar, I have to tell you and the audience that one of the things that really lit me up is that, we get a lot of people saying all kinds of things on our forums. You and I know that. And we use our own judgment whether or not what someone says is accurate or not. But I really, really take it personal. I really take offense when a supposed copyright lawyer, okay, who's supposed to know the subject matter better than, the average vanilla lawyer. And they are going to make these claims against us. And the way I take it is that it's an attack, and it's a way to sort of, I guess, try to bully us, to be honest with you, try to bully us into sanitizing our message. And, that's the whole reason why ELI was created, that we could speak freely, safely, in the language we wanted. It's our own refuge. Now, if they have something to say, feel free to pipe in and say something. But it really is, in my opinion, very cowardly to try to say that we couldn't use the phrase, when in reality, they know better. They really know better. They know we were expressing our opinions. What do you think?
Well, they should. Yeah, I mean, they should, and we certainly, I never fault a lawyer for trying. If you get a valid claim to go forward and try to press that claim, I can understand that.
Yes.
I just thought it was a little bit like not honest to say that they were really offended and felt that they were being called extortionists when, as I said, no reasonable person would believe that that was the intent of our message. It never has been, it never will be, and it's merely an expression. And, one of the things, again, that I think both of us said this to them in their replies is, if you're going to step into the arena and you're going to try and make these claims and you're going to do it in this fashion, you kind of have to expect that some people are not going to be too happy about it. I'm sure debt collectors don't have a nice home life. They're tired of all day getting on that phone and jamming people for money and calling them and threatening them. It's a tough way to make a living. And I can understand that maybe, that can irritate somebody. But at the same time, you should have a little bit thicker skin if that's your game, and that's what you're in there trying to do, and realize that people are going to take offense to that and maybe respond. And, our forum is open. We've had many people on our forum who've made comments that are negative about some of the things that we posted, and we don't delete them. The only post we've ever deleted where people go base level, go too low, and start hitting personal attacks on people and photoshopping pictures. That's not what we're about.
Right.
We really, I really think we have elevated the level of content to above most forums. If you think about the topic that we're talking about, as a matter of fact, Matt, and the fact that it's called extortion letter info, you really would expect it to be more like a bar room on the discussion forums. And you don't see that. If people were to read those forum posts, it's a very high level, very elevated discussion about copyright. Trademark comes up every now and then, but it's really about copyright. From all over the world, people are discussing these issues and are getting answers and getting help from people in similar positions. It's a tremendous content provider. And, it's like, don't let the name fool you. And I think people don't get past that name, and they assume we're something that we're not. And they should take the time to read the homepage, which describes it, hopefully watch this little video, which explains it, but more importantly, read the forum posts and see the kind of people that they're out there. And, by the way, they'll see the impact that their letters have on people. The frightened people who are worried about losing their businesses, the companies that feel that they've done something that's horrifically wrong that could have exposed them to thousands and thousands of dollars of claims. So take the time, get a little bit educated, and I think you'd realize that we're actually kind of very calm and very thoughtful content providers. Yeah, and I even go out of my way to sort of tone down some of our more outspoken members. And, behind the scenes, I will sort of say, hey, let's not use this kind of language because, it's very, very important to me that we present, arguments and have content that doesn't get just into mudslinging. Now, I'll be the first to admit I do make my share of snarky remarks and sarcasm. I mean, I am the website owner, but, I think most people understand that. And I do try to be fair. And the whole, I don't know, I guess the thing about it is, if you're going to, my message to, I guess, the lawyers is that if you're going to make these claims, at least do everybody a favor and do a little research. Just like you said, Oscar, get past the name. You may not like the name, but, you chose to get into this business, and there you go. If someone is going to talk.
You can't keep this a secret. If you don't want to represent somebody, you don't want to be associated with it, maybe you should find a different line of work.
Right. Would you prefer being called a copyright troll? I mean, is that a pleasant? Should we have called it copyright troll info? You would object to being called a troll. No one expects that you're actually a troll. That's a legal term of art for folks who try to engage in copyright enforcement as a business model, okay? So, there's lots of nasty terms out there that are applied in this area. We didn't make them up. We didn't make up the term legalized extortion.
No, that's been around.
Right. So, again, enough said, right? We got it covered. Look at the posts, look at the website, and then you should see where you stand on the issue.
Well, just as a last parting comment on this little clip here is that in the letters, we did take corrective measures. We did not have to. We just simply did it as a professional courtesy. I want to make that abundantly clear. The couple areas that said extortion letters, which we were well within our rights to use, we just simply said, look, this isn't a fight worth fighting. Let's just change it to settle demand letters, and let's delete a couple of offending posts, and let's go on our way. And that would have been that. So anyway, well, Oscar, thank you for joining me on this little mini update on the term extortion. Thank you.
And by the way, what did you mean when you called me your partner in crime? I'm not a
Well, I mean,
I take offense to that. You're going to be hearing from my lawyer.
I've actually I thought about how come you didn't say anything. Usually you're pretty quick about that. Usually you're pretty quick about these things.
Have a good night.
All right, thank you.